Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm Tamara or Billie. I'm glad you're here and I hope you stick around. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to show you how I achieved this look and we're gonna have a little bit of a chit chat. Now this look is basically my everyday look. It's just a little bit amped up now that it's fall. So I've gone in with a darker lip and a deeper blush. That's about it. That's the only change. So if you're interested in seeing how we got here, stick around. Okay, so let's get started. I've already done my face prep. The moisturizer that I use is the Fresh Rose Deep Hydration Face Cream. It's a really light moisturizer. There's a slight rose scent, but nothing too overpowering. And I've already done my brows as well. And for my brows, I use the Benefits Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 5. So, and I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Brow Freeze Brow Styling Wax as well, just to keep everything in place. And the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer to clean up around the brows. So I'm gonna go in now with a face primer. The one that I'm liking currently is the One Size Secure the Sweat Dry Till Dawn Primer. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that and pop that on my face. And if you see me looking to the right, that's because my mirror is to the right and I have a mirror in front of me, so I have to look to the right to see what I'm doing. Okay, so in the spirit of transitioning into fall, I wanted to talk a little bit about transitions and transition in the sense of navigating and embracing change. Yeah, so I'm no expert or anything, but I think a change in the season is a good reminder, or rather it's a good indicator that you can actually reinvent yourself. So I wanted to offer some tips and this applies to me as well, for how we can readily accept and embrace change as they come. And this is pretty cool because in parallel, I guess I'll be transitioning my face to a simple fall look. Okay, so now that my primer is on, I'm not doing any sort of color correcting or anything. So I'm going to use I'm just going in with foundation, and the foundation that I'm really liking right now is the Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation, and this is in the shade Cocoa. So I'm going to pop like 3 pumps on the back of my hand here, and I'm going to use a damp beauty blender sponge to go in and apply. And I'm starting from the middle of my face and taking it out. Okay, so the first point that I wanted to make around transitioning and embracing change is, I'm calling it shedding. And I want you to think of transitioning in basically its literal sense and appreciate it for what it is. And it's essentially a change, and it's usually a positive change, I'd say. Much like fall, the leaves are literally changing and they're shedding to give way for new growth. And I think that's the same with people. Of course, the idea is really that you'd take a step forward and drop those or shed those old habits that you no longer like, or that no longer serve you, and really step into something that actually serves you. So that's what I mean by shedding, just looking at what's there and what you're no longer interested in, and shedding that in hopes of applying something new to your life. I'm gonna pop a little bit more on the back of my hand. So I like using a beauty blender over a brush. I just find that it gives a more, I want to say airbrush, like a softer, I don't know, in my experience it just seems a little bit more, it's easier to blend of course, and it just gives a smoother, softer look. And I try to make sure that everything is blended properly particularly like the jawline area, because you don't want that line of demarcation. All right, so now that I'm happy with the blending, with the foundation, I'm going in with my concealer, and the concealer that I like is another Too Faced product. It's the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and this is in the shade Chestnut. So I'm going to pop some on my under eye right here. Along the bridge of my nose. On my forehead, or in the center of my forehead, and down here on my chin, and a tiny bit here. Okay, the second point that I wanted to make, and I know it's weird with all of this all over my face, but I'm allowing the concealer to dry down a little bit. Yeah, so fall by nature is a little bit slower. I mean that there's that hustle and bustle in the summertime, but in fall it's a lot cooler. There's a lot less happening. In the summer we want to go to all the events, we want to be outside, we want to do all the outdoor activities. But fall, it's cooler outside, so there's not a lot that's happening. So it's by nature a lot slower. And I love to run as well, and I find that in the fall time, if I'm going outside, if I'm doing any sort of outdoor activity, I lean towards doing fall walks rather than fall run. So yeah, in the fall time, things really just start to slow down, and I think, you know, that gives you a good opportunity to slow down as well and just reflect on where you are, reflect on the things that you want to do, again, on the things that you want to shed. And I believe that it really provides you with that clarity that you need to make certain decisions. So essentially what I want to say is just be open to that adjustment, be open to the slowness, and take that time to really reflect. So I think this has dried down enough. So I'm gonna use my ring finger and basically blend it out. I'm gonna start with my forehead. So I'm just gonna do little taps, and I want to concentrate it really in the middle of the forehead. So I don't want it to spread too wide. Yes, I'm just using tapping motions to spread that out. And under eye, doing the same, and I'm bringing it up on the under eye here. And then I'm going to take that same beauty blender and I'm just going to blend it out, starting from the edges, because you really want, well, I don't know how bright of an under eye you want, but most of the concealer you want to be concentrated on the under eye, but you want there to be that seamless transition at the edge. So we're going to blend, we're really going to go in and blend the edge. Same for the forehead. Yeah, I didn't anticipate how much of a challenge it would be to actually speak to the camera, or sit down, speak to the camera, and do makeup at the same time. It's quite a task. Yeah, and I'm just using my middle finger to blend the concealer on my nose. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. I'm going to set this really quickly before the concealer starts settling into those little fine lines. And I'm using the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder and just a little powder puff thing. And I'm going to use that to quickly set the concealer. Always use a ton. Yeah, so I'm pressing that in. So we're not baking per se, we're just literally pressing the powder. We're pressing the powder in to set. So I'm essentially setting everywhere that I would have added the concealer. And we're gonna eventually get rid of the excess, but for now it's alright. To be honest, not that I'm not into eyeshadow, but I find that I don't really wear much eyeshadow. So just to give that depth and to actually set whatever foundation or concealer that may have gone into the crease of my eye here, I'm going to use the Dior Forever. What I do is I use a bronzer, and the one I'm using is a Dior Forever bronzer in the shade Deep Bronze, and I just take a little bit and I sweep that into the crease. Yeah, so this provides some depth, like I said. Yeah, so I'm okay with that. Alright, so next up I'm going to use a cream blush. Actually no, I'm going to do a little bit of contouring. Now, I'm no big contouring girl, but for the purposes of this video I'm going to do a little bit of contouring. And the contour that I'm using is the Fenty Beauty Matte Sticks in Espresso. And yeah, I'm just going to do a little bit of contouring. So I'm going to add this, not in the hollows of my cheek, but a little bit above. So I'm going to swatch a little bit here. And yeah, a little bit above the hollow, so not here, but a little bit above. And then I'm going to take a contour brush. And then I'm going to take that contour brush and, you know, kind of pat it in, but in an upward motion, if that makes sense. So you're not sweeping it, you're just sort of patting it. Bring it into the hairline. So make sure that's not too harsh. Yep. And I suppose for the purposes of this video, again, I'll just do a little bit of contouring on the nose. Tiny bit. I don't know, I feel like contouring can go wrong sometimes, like it's going wrong right now actually. Jeez. So not too big on that. I'm getting rid of the excess powder that we applied earlier. So the last point that I wanted to make around change and embracing change is I termed this layering. And I know this is a bit contradictory considering I mentioned shedding, but with layering I'm speaking to actually evolving and applying those things that you would have sat down, reflected on, and realized that you want. So after you've shed your old habits, what are these new things that you want to replace those old habits with? What are you layering on top of you? And I'm going to use the analogy of fall fashion because I love fall fashion. I think it's the best way for you to actually express your personal style. Like, it's not so cold where you need like this big puffer coat that's going to cover up all the work that you've done. So in autumn or in fall, you can actually see the layers and you can really express yourself. So just like your outfit, I just think it's a good opportunity for you to lay your cards out on the table and see what you're working with and basically put your best self forward. So layer on those new things that you want to do, those new ideas that you want to explore, those new places, or maybe just even make plans for the future. So again, just embrace that idea of change, dropping those old habits and those things that no longer serve you, and applying or layering on those that do. Okay, so I'm now going to use a cream blush, and this is the Rare Beauty blush in Nearly Berry. It's a really rich berry tone. So I'm gonna go in with a brush and just apply that to the top here, to the apples of my cheek. Slight smile, and again move that into the hairline. Yeah, it's really deep and it looks like a ton. Yeah, but the thing is, blush is the first thing to go throughout the day. So you might apply a ton now, but then by the end of the day it looks like you didn't. So, or that you're not even, oh my gosh, that's a ton for sure. So let me use the other side to try and blend this out. Yeah, by the end of the day, you usually look like you didn't apply any blush. And we all know that makeup looks a lot better the longer it's on. So it needs, I guess it sort of needs to be seasoned. I don't know. Sometimes I like to brush it over my nose as well. And now that we've applied all our cream and liquid products, I'm gonna set my entire face, and I'm using the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder in the shade Dark Deep tone, and set my entire face. And already you can see that applying the setting powder actually kind of toned down the blush as well. We're okay with that. Okay, and like I said, I don't really do lots of eyeshadow or anything, but what I do on a daily basis or whenever I'm going out is a winged liner. For this, I'll use the NYX Vivid Matte Liquid Liner, and this definitely requires a ton of concentration, so I'll see you in a sec. That took a minute, but our eyeliner is on. So now I'm going to curl my lashes and apply mascara. And my favorite mascara of all time is the Dior Show Iconic Overcurl Mascara. Yeah, so curling your lashes actually makes a huge difference on just going in and applying mascara. And I mean, for every day I don't wear lashes, so yeah, love me a good mascara. And even applying mascara requires like tons of concentration as well, because have you ever poked yourself in the eye with the mascara wand? Literally the worst. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. Most of the times I just do the top lashes anyway. So today I'm just doing the top lashes. Yeah, I think it looks good so far. And we're almost done actually. I'm just now going to line my lips, and I'm using the MAC Chestnut Lip Liner. Okay. And then I'm going in with this really deep wine shade from Fenty Beauty. It's their Velvet Liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Wicked Wine. Yeah, so it literally goes on like butter. It's so soft and velvety, but I think one of the biggest complaints people had about this lipstick is that it transfers like crazy, but of course it doesn't advertise as being non-transferable. So there's that. And finally, what I like to do is add a little bit of highlight in the center of my face. So I use the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo, and I use the shade Afternoon Snack, or I use the, yeah, Afternoon Snack. Okay, so I take a little bit and I pop it along the bridge of my nose here, the tip of my nose, and a little bit on my cupid's bow. And that's about it for highlighting, really. And finally, to set everything, to keep everything in place all day, I'm going to use the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. This is the oil control one. I do have an oily forehead, so I made sure I got the oil control. And this works like a charm. That was a ton. Woo. And we're going to allow that to dry down. Okay, so this is a final look. Hope you like it. It's really simple, but just enough, I think. I really love the lip, but this lip stain transfers like crazy, so that's something to be mindful of. Okay, so let me know if there are any products that I mentioned that you're also loving at the moment, if there's any that you're looking forward to try as well, and if you probably do a take on this look. I think by now we know that the only thing that's permanent in life is change. So inevitably change will happen to you. So you can go ahead and put those things, or try to put things in place that potentially dictate how this change affects your life. But my main takeaway is whatever change comes your way, I want you to welcome and embrace it completely, because you just never know what opportunities it will bring, like honestly. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, be sure to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.